Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life.
It's your host, Madison Malloy, and I have exciting news. My new product is now available on Amazon called Color Your Way to Abundance, a 21-day manifestation guide for wealth, health, and love. This unique coloring journal will help you manifest by coloring in the affirmations while you continue to repeat them. This will help activate these affirmations so they become a reality. Grab your copy today and relax, color, and start manifesting.
Welcome back to another episode of Next to Madison. I'm your host, Madison Malloy, and we are back in studio. We were in studio and we started the show 6 years ago, moved to a couple different ones, and then COVID hit and went remote, and that was wonderful because we could get guests from all over the world. But I am so happy to be back in New York City, back in a studio, and back with an amazing guest. We're going to have fun on this episode. Some episodes are very serious. Others are more light, fun, and we are talking about everybody's favorite subject, which is dating and relationships. I still haven't figured out my whole relationship thing. I love being single. I think I'm used to being single too much. So I have got an amazing luxury wedding event planner along with a podcast host, the Misjudged podcast host, with me today to talk all things New York City, dating, sex, romance, you name it. Nothing is off the table. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome my guest to the show, Alyssa Pettinato. How are you?
You got it right.
I got it right.
She said it right. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited. This is my bread and butter.
No, I'm so excited. And it's so funny because sometimes I don't have notes, but I'm like, I want these rapid fire questions. So we're going to start because we're going to open the show up with like dating stuff. So I want to know, what is your favorite dating app in New York City?
Anything but Raya. No, I'm just kidding. Probably Hinge. It's like the most normal people, I think.
Okay, I have an issue with Hinge.
Yeah, we all do.
I've been kicked off there twice.
Wait, what the fuck did you do?
I don't think I did anything. I think they didn't like my political stance. We won't go into that. But I don't know what it was or a crazy ex, but it happened. And then, of course, they have your number and everything on it. So all of a sudden, then I was like, well, I'll just use my mother's. So I went back on it. And then, of course, I got kicked off again.
Wait, what?
And I said, this is a sign from God in the universe that I'm not meant to meet my person on Hinge. But Bumble hasn't kicked me off, and my political views are on there, too. So everyone's like, well, we know what you are now. Anyways, so anything but Raya, which I've never been accepted to, so good to know.
Well, you're not missing anything. It's like where everyone just goes for an ego boost and they don't talk to each other, and everyone is like a douchosaurus, so...
Okay, so
good.
good.
Anything.
Good.
Yeah.
You know what I thought about dating or trying was Christian Mingle.
Oh,
I really did.
wait. No, girl. Those men are not for you.
But the thing is, it's funny because I'm a comedian and a speaker and an author, and I've got this dirty sense of humor, but I am this Christian girl. And I'm like, okay, they just need to make sure they can handle a Christian that's got some spice. But I don't know.
That's kind of rare, though. I would say you got to meet in the wild for that, you know?
I know.
You got to meet at like a party.
But I want like a guy that's going to like dry hump my leg for 45 minutes.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what
not
I
on
mean?
Christian. If he's on Christian Mingle, he's probably a virgin and he's a little pent up, you know? Like, I don't know about that one.
Or maybe he's a reborn again. Maybe he's like, wait a second, I've seen too many episodes of Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson about Jesus coming back, and I really need to put this in my pants till I get married. That's my issue. I think that's mine. All right, moving on. What is the worst date location?
Oh, like city?
Well, I don't know.
Because New York City is like for sure.
I know. I would say some guy's apartment.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm not going to your house. What are we? I'm not going to get sold into sex trafficking. And
I know.
I don't want your shitty cooking. Like, oh, we're going to watch Octopus Teacher. Like, get the fuck out of here. Oh, sorry.
But do you think, yeah, you can curse. It's all good. Or anything goes. I wrote a book with 23 F words. People are like, can I cuss in front of you? And I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm the author of Time to Lighten the Fuck Up. Yes. Yes, you can.
I love it. Woman
That's
after
a
my
thing.
own heart.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, I would definitely say that. But then it's like the guys, I always do FaceTime.
Oh, me too. By the way, I did
you
a
have
whole
to.
episode about this because I'm like, why are we not qualifying someone before I give you an hour of my life? Like, because there's no way to politely leave a drink. You're just like, oh, I'll sit this one.
Well, see, I don't do the drinks. I want to do the dinner.
Oh, I don't want to get food with you unless I'm into you.
Okay, because the thing is, like, FaceTime doesn't take into account, how tall you are, how wide you are.
Oh, I asked them.
You're like, what's your weight?
Well, I can
What's your
size
height,
you up
weight?
on the FaceTime. I'm like, let's see, like, show me like your apartment. No, I can always tell. And like, then I'll be like, can I wear my heels on our date? If we go on a date? Like,
Oh.
I mean, I say it like super cute, but I'm sussing them out.
Okay, do the short guys usually say like, could you wear flats? We're going to walk.
No, I have had a guy be like, well, I'm like a busty 5'8". It's like, okay. Like, so I thought it's a 6 foot. Like,
Yeah, exactly, right?
What are we doing?
There was I did hear a great line from a guy. He was short. I wasn't on a date with him, but he was friends with a common friend and short man, very short man. He must have been 5'4" or 5'5".
Oh,
This poor guy,
poor babe.
sweet as can be. But some guy made a comment at a bar to him, and he turned around. He goes, "Yeah, I may be short, but I'm 6 feet standing on my wallet." I was like, "That's actually pretty funny."
You know what? I actually love a short king because they are funny as hell. They usually have like more big dick energy than a tall guy sometimes. Like the only men that have approached me in bars are the short kings because the tall ones are intimidated apparently by all 5'2" of me.
Well, I mean, you're very beautiful. Of course, they're intimidated. But here's another thing: tall guys apparently don't live as long. The taller you
Well,
are,
yeah.
the shorter your lifespan.
Great Danes
I could have
also-
just made that up.
Great Danes also die quicker too. I mean, the bigger the, vessel.
Yeah,
That's why we're going to live forever, just like my dog.
Oh God, I don't want to live forever. God no, I want to go to heaven.
Oh, I want to be a fucking stain on society till I'm like 150. Like, I'm gonna just,
Okay, you can take 150. I'm good at 90. I feel like the Botox is going to wear off. But I feel like by the time we hit 90, you're going to go in and like a picture's going to be taken. You're going to have a facelift.
Yeah, they're going to bring Disney back to life by then.
Yeah. So what's your biggest red flag in dating?
Oh, there's so many. Anyone who immediately talks about a crazy ex.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
It's always like, well, why is she crazy? Like I've only heard literally one story in my travels where she was legitimately crazy. And we still don't know the other side to that story, So that's number one. I would say one more is when people mislead you about where they're at with their situation. Like the amount of guys that are still legally married that are out here like pretending to be 100% single is actually alarming.
Really?
Yeah, like the separated guy or like who knows if you're really separated at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. And then once the divorce is finalized, they need at least a good year or two.
yeah, what are you doing, bro? Get out of here. You need to be in your hoe phase.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. And people are like, yeah. And then there are those men who have left their wife for the woman and they end up marrying the woman. But eventually that's going to catch up with you because karma's a real bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you don't have your hoe phase, it finds you.
Yeah, I had my hoe phase, thank God. Now that's why I was thinking about Christian Mingle. I had my Tinder phase, and now I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should go on the. But what's the other one that's really good? Not okay. Is it okay? Not okay.
Oh God, that's still around?
eHarmony.
What? That's still around?
Of course, yes. So I have a few friends that have met on eHarmony, and the reason is you have to take like the SATs to get on there.
See, I'm already like the ADHD's already kicked in. I can't.
Yeah.
That's why all the fuckboys are on these apps because it's 2 swipes, like you're done.
Well, it is. I've always find that like if they don't have like a good conversation or they're not like how are you or asking you how you're doing or anything. But I'm kind of bad at it too. Like I had a friend, she is running for office, and somebody helping her with her campaign, she reached out and she said, "This guy's really great. Don't F it up because he's connected and I need the money for the campaign." And I was like, well, thank you for thinking of me. Out of all the people we know that you were like, Madison's the least crazy. We're going to go with this choice. And then she's like, did he get in touch with you? And I said, he did, but he wanted drinks the next day. And I was busy. And then he's going to D.C. and doing all that other stuff. So I said, well, FaceTime next week. She goes, next week? And I was like, yeah, people are busy. Sometimes this shit takes time.
No, you know what? That's always like kind of a turnoff to me because I'm literally like, I've matched with guys and it's like, can you get a drink 4 weeks from now on like a Friday? And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if you're not prioritizing dating, if you have like a crazy job and you're traveling, like, we meet when you're in Sicily with your friends for 3 weeks or whatever, different. But why are we meeting 4 weeks later? Like, is your roster so packed you got a date every night?
Yeah, there are some guys like that.
I know.
Which is really crazy.
Look.
We are definitely not in the city for relationships. I've been thinking about Nashville, not because I'm like, oh, I'm going to Nashville because that's where my husband is. Better life.
Yeah.
Better for me. I love cowboy boots. I love country music. It fits better. But then I'm like, well, it is the South. So everyone got married when they were like 25. And they don't really divorce because it's the Bible Belt. So I don't know. But Nashville's kind of where it's at. And it's like I was looking at apartments and I'm like, God, I could live like a queen down here.
Yeah, honestly, I do feel like the divorce daddy market is a thing. And I think people don't talk about it enough because, look, these guys are like sometimes like a housebroken cat where they're like kind of still wanting somebody to like help take care of stuff. So, but I mean, that could be a big market in Nashville. I have like a friend who moved to DC because she can't date in New York. She's like,
is it any better?
I mean, she's moving this week, so we'll see.
You know what? I heard in DC, I had some friends that went down for the inauguration and they were meeting all these people. And they said in DC, you can't dress the same as you do in New York because you'll look like a total hoe. The heels have to be very low and very conservative because these men are like, we want somebody who's going to follow us around on our little campaign thingies that we're doing, right? So we can't really have like the independent.
Wait, didn't
So I heard it's a nightmare.
Like wear like a bra to the inauguration though? I feel like we're not being that conservative.
Yeah, but she doesn't live in DC either.
Oh, that's true. They're like,
yeah.
Where are they? Like Cali?
They're wherever the hell they want to be
That's
because
true.
they're so rich. You know what I mean? They're like, we're here tomorrow, and then we're here. So they're wherever they want. But yeah, I think
That's
it's just
weird.
for me. I think mindset, because I work a lot in mindset with people, is that your mindset determines everything, right? Determines your happiness, your income, and your relationship status. So when people say like, oh, dating's like a nightmare, because I've caught myself in this trap too, where I'm like, hold on a second, because we attract what we think. We attract what we are. So if we're coming in that energy.
I agree.
So it's like, just go at it like, do you know how many dates I've gone on that we realized this wasn't a match, but we got along so well, we ended up doing business together? You just never know.
Wait, I love that. And by the
I
way,
say it could be a friendship, a
can.
nothing, or a business deal, or penetration.
well,
You know?
I always say the same thing actually. Like, and I've had chats with my friends who are like, I'm like, look, I always say it's going to either be an adventure or your husband. And if it's an adventure, even if it's a bad story, it's a good story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, do it for the plot.
I agree. It's always like, yeah, that was my line in college. Do it for the story.
Yeah.
And I would always end up attracting crazy stuff. That's how I ended up in a nudist colony. That's a story for another day. But yeah, I was like, do it for the story. But I think it's also, have you heard of those girls that like totally, I guess I'm going to call it surrender. That's what happens at the end. But they're like, I'm done with New York.
Yeah.
I can't date here. This is insane.
Yeah.
And then they like start just, law of detachment kicks in. They start living their life. They start going out. They start enjoying the city because it's coming to an end. And then like a week or 2 days before they like meet their person, they end up staying.
Honestly,
It's a thing.
I've never heard the like leaving New York one, but like I personally, anytime I've been like, hoe phase, like I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna travel with my girlfriends, whatever, make all these plans, I accidentally fall into very long-term relationships whenever that's the mindset, like our mutual
Because
friend.
it's your energy.
Yeah.
It's your energy. That's exactly what's happening. Because when you're looking for it, you've got that subconscious neediness. But when you're in your, what you call your hoe phase, I call it your detached phase, but your
Yes.
hoe phase,
Like we love a hoe phase.
you're just having fun. And that's the
Yeah.
energy you're putting out of like, I love me. I love my life. I'm having a great time.
Yeah. There's a desperation that emits from you when you're in that. In fact, I've told my friends, let's go to a bar and meet your person looking as ugly as we possible can. Because whenever I've gone to a bar all decked out, everyone is so intimidated. Like I went after Pilates with my girlfriend to a bar. I'm like, when I was in a relationship, so I was just like so turned off. Like I'm like, nobody talk to me kind of vibes. People couldn't get enough of us at that bar. My hair is in a bun. I'm wearing a Pilates outfit. We're at Checky's in West Village, getting attacked.
Yeah.
Like there's no tomorrow.
But that's what happens. I think it's because when we dress up and put so much effort into it, we put a subconscious guard up.
Yeah.
But that's why I remember I got off a boat went on a boat on Sunday, and I didn't want to get my hair wet. And of course, as I'm trying to get on the damn floaty mat, I'm being an asshole trying to like walk on it, and I fall in.
Yeah, you ate
And
shit.
I'm like, oh God. So the hair is wet, salt water, God knows. And by the end of the time, we went to a bar, had like a crappy little cheap dress, and my hair thrown up on my head because I'd been in the Long Island Sound, and it was great. I got so much attention.
Yeah.
Because
God.
it's like you're just you.
First of all, men love a $15 sundress, okay? Like, anytime I've worn my crummy Amazon sundress, everybody can't stop talking to me. And anytime I'm wearing my Revolve, like, no, so dead serious. I was walking the dog this week in, like, a strapless $20 Amazon dress. I have never received more compliments in my whole life. And I was like...
See, you don't need to spend a lot of money on this crap. We really don't. I always say spend it on your skincare.
100%.
You know?
Skincare, hair.
Or like, or
mental state.
memories. Okay, so let's talk about this. So we'll get into what you do with the wedding stuff because that's going to lead into some other stuff. But at what point do you vacation with a guy? And because this is a thing.
Oh, you're asking the wrong person this question.
If he takes you on vacation, do you have to fuck him? Sleep with him?
Okay, so you're asking someone who's literally gone on first and second dates on vacation with somebody.
First dates?
Our mutual contact. We went on a trip, second date. Yeah, first date. It was like we met for a coffee.
Was this when he was unemployed? Traveling the world?
No, he was.
Oh, he was employed. I love that he's
had
going to watch this too, so we're not going to say his name. Oh, of course.
Hello,
I'm going to
Jamaica.
send it right to him.
No, but like, yeah, I'm crazy like that. But also, I mean, as he well knows, like, it was not like, oh, I'm going to just do this. Like, it was like whenever I feel comfortable. And that could be the first night if I'm feeling inclined. That could be the last night. That could be never. And there is no rules for me.
Right. So you'll sleep with him if you feel like it.
If I feel the mood strikes. And by the way, if somebody's like forcing it or telling me I have to, let me tell you, I've never done anything less in my life. If you tell me to do something, I'm doing the opposite. So,
well, no, that's exactly right. But that's the whole thing too, because I've had guys that have wanted to take me on trips, and I'm like, okay, are we getting like our own bedrooms? Like, I'm not comfortable. I'm not sleeping with you. And then all of a sudden, I feel awkward and the energy switches, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going on this trip. Or they're like, you know what? Let's just do something else.
See, like, I'm so weird because I've gone on trips with like, even girlfriends when we were like broke and we couldn't, and I've shared beds, and I'm like, I don't even need a separate room. I just need you to know that I'm calling the shots here. And
yeah, you're like, my moo-moo is coming with us.
I just like,
it's gonna be great.
I'm not, it's so weird. My friends are always so like, are you gonna be safe? I'm like, I am ready to unleash my feminine rage at some point if someone tries something. Like, I want to go to jail. Like, let's go. You know?
There's the Italian.
Like, seriously, it's so weird. I mean, I honestly am very lucky that I've only had it work out, but I feel like I'm a very good judge of character very quickly, and I can tell if somebody's like a threat or if like they're just like lonely and they want to go, and they're just like, I had this thing, and like, do you want to come?
So do you max the time though? Like on a first date, if somebody's like, hey, you want to spend a week in Mexico with me? I'd be like, whoa, let's start with a long weekend.
I mean, sometimes it has been like, it's so funny. I've done it like 4 times, and like,
that is so,
I can like kind of get along with like, I can go with the flow very easily. So it's never been like very awkward. They've always been fun people. Like, you have to be crazy too to ask somebody, and you have to be crazy to accept. So you've got 2 like fun, crazy people. So, I mean, but it's always been a situation where I've been like, hey, I'm going to go do this thing by myself for like 2 hours, you know, like, or you nap or whatever. And we get a little bit of alone time. So it's like, it doesn't feel too crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Here comes the real good question that just came to mind.
Oh,
because I literally, people always say to me, like, you don't know me that well, but my friends will always say like, whatever comes out of the mouth, it doesn't match the exterior. So the exterior doesn't match the interior. And I said, trust me, I know. When I was doing comedy, when I first started, people were like, you need to be you on stage. I'm like, I'm Greenwich Face with Trailer Park Taste.
Yeah.
This is me, motherfucker. Like, what do you want?
Yeah. Oh, people do that to me too.
Okay, so here's the vacation thing. You share a room.
Yeah.
Where do you take a dump?
Okay, so my body physically won't let me do that when I travel with men to a point where
Oh, no.
it's
Okay.
actually horrendous. It's so like, nope. And anytime it's happened, it's been like breakfast buffet, like, in the lobby. Like,
Well, that's what you do. You go to the lobby, you go to the breakfast, and you get a green juice and like a
Yes.
chia seed pudding that cleans you out in a second. And then you shit in the lobby
yeah.
before you go back to the room. But he's obviously shitting in the lobby too.
Oh, I've heard some things. Like oh my God, this is so funny. I was in Mexico with the guy once, and it was our second date, and it was like romance, and like we were super into each other. We hit it off very quickly. And he's like taking a shower one day, and I just hear him hawking up a loogie, and they're like, like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it was, all these hotels are doing us dirty with these open format rooms.
Oh yeah, those are. I know.
So unsexy. And so I'm like sitting there like, does he know that I can literally hear everything he's doing
I was
right
gonna say that's better than him like pushing out a.
I mean, I've heard
know?
that too, girl. Like, men don't care. That's the difference.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't care.
I lived with my brother when I first moved to New York City. He was working. We were both working in finance at the time, and he used to leave our apartment and go to the Hyatt at Grand Central to take a dump.
What? And he lived with his sister?
But it wasn't because of me.
Oh.
He just was like, I like shitting in hotels.
Oh, that's
Like,
actually,
guys like this.
That's unhinged.
Like, there are guys, like, if you ask a guy, like, what's the best hotel to take a shit in New York? They're going to be like, they're going to rattle it right off.
Oh my God.
They're going to be like the Carlisle for sure. Second to that, the Ritz.
Well, the Carlisle does have great bathrooms.
Yeah, my brother was like the Hyatt. I mean, he was young. I'm like, you should really step it up. But then he's like, he goes, I just like shitting at Hyatts. I've shit the Hyatt in Denver. I shit in the Hyatt. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I feel like he needs to
funny.
go like on a travel thing just to. But guys are like that. But that's the
Yeah.
thing about vacation is like, when does that happen? I think the last time I went on a trip with a guy was like maybe it was a fourth or fifth date, but he was somebody that was like about to get out of about to sign the divorce papers, and I just knew this guy wasn't ready, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna. There was mistakes I made along the way, but if it was meant to be, whatever's meant to be, will be. But the best way to actually meet somebody is traveling with them.
100%. Okay, so like, I've been only on. All right, I've been on a lot of trips.
He's like, I just go on trips.
No, because like whenever I'm in like I'm also like, when I'm single, but I get wifed up and I'm super loyal, and we're just like doing that thing, like very monogamous, like long term. So like when I'm single, it's like these brief moments where I'm just like a fucking feral house cat let out the house in the alley that's just like, okay, and then I fall into this relationship. So like there were 2 times. One was with like a guy I had been dating for like 2 months, and we went away together, and it was just like, he got drunk like one night and was just like the worst, and I was like, I don't like you. Like, I was just like, I don't like,
Yeah.
and like the hotel was in his name. He's like, cool, you can leave. I'm like, cool, I'm not gonna leave tonight, but like I'm gonna sleep here, and then I'll leave tomorrow because like I really don't like you.
Oh,
and then
yeah. Oh, those are tough.
the first date that I went on to St. Bart's, it had all the makings of being fantastic. And then this guy showed his true colors the last night. And when I say this man is definitely going to end up in jail, like he is going to end up in jail. He was a piece of work. But like at one point I literally looked at him and I'm like, I think I understand why you were coming on this trip alone. Like it takes so much for me to break character like that early, like to be so honest with someone.
Yeah.
When you're still in the like new phase.
Yeah.
Like usually you're biting your tongue a little bit. I'm not biting my tongue that much, but like I would never say that to somebody until I'm like,
how many
I don't want to see
days
them.
were you on the trip?
It was like 5 days. And the 4th day
that's
I
a
was just
lot.
like, this guy is a piece of trash. Like you can always, I'm like, there's always a moment where you can realize this is why this person's single.
Well, yeah, I know. But it's crazy because my girlfriends and I were talking, and we were like, we go to these bars or parties in the Hamptons, and I was like, you all say you want to meet somebody, but yet we keep showing up with the same people, and these people are lovely, but if we wanted to date them, we'd all be dating them. But we're not, nobody's dating. So the thing is, like, we're just kind of running around in this hopeless romantic circle. But what's the craziest gift a guy's ever gotten you?
Crazy. I mean, in relationships, they've gotten me like jewelry and bags or whatever, but like actually our mutual friend, this is how he won me over, is he texts me, how's your day? Which is, by the way, like the text that's like always going to make everyone the Sahara Desert men. Like,
how's your day?
How's your day? And I had literally it was an actual crazy timing. I just opened my bathroom cabinet and I had a brand new bottle of Chanel perfume that I had just bought, like an extra large one.
Yeah.
Fall out and shatter all over my bathroom floor.
Oh.
Everywhere. Like, I'd never used it. And you know, like that stuff's not cheap. And so I was like, and so I just sent a picture and I said, this is how my day is going.
Oh.
An hour later, my doorman's telling me something was dropped off for me. It was a new bottle of perfume. I was like,
that's
no.
sweet.
That was so sweet. I was literally like, I never would have expected that. I just thought I was being funny. Like, that's how my day is going.
But that's so cute.
Yeah.
So nothing weird. I've gotten a dildo on a second date.
I have never.
I got a freaking a 10-speed
where did
vibrator.
we meet him? Was this Bumble?
No, I met him through mutual friends.
Okay.
And it was during COVID, so desperate times, I guess, called for desperate measures. And I was here for 6 weeks. I was living in Queens. I don't belong in Queens. I didn't want to be in Queens. So I was doing anything I could to escape Queens for this 6 weeks. And so I was like, shit, I mean, I would have dated a homeless man if he lived in Greenwich. So anyways, second date, he went to high school with one of my good friends. He's like, I got you a gift. And it was a 10-speed vibrator.
Oh.
And of course, I said to him, I just go, I guess this is one way of telling me that you suck in bed.
Oh my God, no.
And he was like, no. And I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah. And then that guy, we planned a trip and I realized, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's going to expect me to like ride his face and
He's
do all
gonna
this
be
crazy
pegged.
stuff. Yeah. So I was like, so we didn't end up going on the trip. And anyways, we didn't talk for 3 years. I like blackballed him. And then we just made up and I was on his boat last weekend, but we're friends. But it's hilarious. I was like, you were on my shit list for 3 years. You finally got off of it. He's like, thank God. Everyone would avoid me when you'd come to town.
I feel like I know whose boat you were on.
You don't. If you know this guy, I'm going to be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked. No, doesn't live here.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I thought.
Doesn't know our mutual friend either.
No, I thought I saw you on a boat with mutual friends.
Not this
I'm not
past
going to
weekend.
say their names.
Oh, okay. I think, no, not those people.
Okay.
Not those people. But yeah, but if there's certain things we can't say. I don't want to get sued on the next Madison podcast. Okay, so let's go into like your business. So you are a luxury wedding event planner. Tell us about that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I started my company 15 years ago when I was a little baby. And I do like all types of events, but I really do a lot of luxury weddings in the city and even outside the city. It's fucking unhinged. Yeah, you have to be mentally unwell to do weddings. Like all of us vendors are. I mean, I always joke. I'm like Andy Cohen and camera team, and it would be like Emmy winning because we're crazy.
So how did you get into it?
It was an accident.
Okay, so how's the accident? 15 years ago, you're like, I'm going to start planning luxury weddings?
No. So 15 years ago, I was like, I'm broke and I'm making everybody around me money with all these events I'm planning. So I'm going to start a company on the side to make myself some money. And then it became full time, but it was like a very crazy sequence of events that led to that. And it was just like, I'm doing corporate stuff and charity stuff, like lots of charity stuff.
Yeah.
And right before COVID, I was literally like, I think we're about to have a recession. It was before anything happened. I just felt like corporate people and charities were like, we're tightening our budgets.
Oh.
And I was like, I feel like something's happening. And so I was like, I'm going to start offering weddings. And then COVID hit and weddings were the only thing that survived for like 2 years. So I just started doing them during COVID. Oops. And I mean, outside the city, it was like people were like, look, we're at our house, you know, we're masked, whatever. They wanted to get married. You know, our lives weren't on hold. And yeah, so like it just started getting press for it. And then it was just like snowballing bigger and bigger and higher budgets. But
that's amazing. So you've worked with couples.
Oh yeah.
And is there things that you see that it's like, this is what makes them work, or this is a road to divorce?
Yeah, so I have a unique perspective because I actually have a degree in psychology, which most people would never guess.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. I like this.
Yeah, that's one of my degrees. So like over the years, I even just in regular events, I was always just, people were coming to me for advice.
Yeah.
And so like from then doing weddings and seeing like some really dysfunctional shit, not just with the couples, but between their families and their friends, just seeing it, I was like, that's why I started my podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy stuff.
Like what?
First of all, I realized, because I come from a dysfunctional family, I was like, oh, we're so weird. Everybody's family is dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Nobody doesn't have shit. Like everybody has crazy dynamics. So that was the first thing. The second one is I can pretty easily, I hate to say this, like predict who's going to make it and who's not.
And what are the traits or the things that are standing out to you?
It's like how they communicate during the planning process as an outsider. Sometimes I'm witnessing things. Like one time I was on a Zoom, the very first time I met this couple, and think about being on a Zoom with a stranger and this woman called her fiance worthless to his face in front of me maybe 4 times. And I was looking at him like, I'm uncomfortable for you. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do we have a status on if they're still married?
I don't know, but I was shocked when he cried on the wedding day. I was like, babe, are you good? Like, she was so mean to him for the entire process. I was actually uncomfortable.
Maybe she sucks an elephant through a hose. Who knows, right?
I've wondered that a few times.
They do say men love bitches, but I'm like, no, they don't. That's got to get exhausting.
Yeah.
That has got to be so like, come on.
I mean, I've had dynamics where the woman is so fantastic and the dude is so douchey. And I'm like, babe, she's going to wake up at one point. And, you know, I've also seen it where it is that dynamic with like the uber bitch. And I'm looking at this guy who for all I know, could be a huge prick. Yeah. But I'm looking at him like, this is forever. Like, are you sure?
It's only, what is it? 33% make it? Well, divorce rate's at 67%. Holy shit. Do you know statistic that I think I heard it from Jordan Peterson?
Okay.
Divorce rate is 67% right now, right? If I was to come to you and say, hey, I got a great business, but we got a 67% chance failure rate, you'd be like, bye. Get out of here.
True.
Like,
that's
beat
true.
it, right? But for some reason, when it comes to love and alcohol, we just keep going back for more. However, if you wait, this is Jordan Peterson, okay? If you wait until marriage to have sex, it goes to 5%. Oh, you want to know why? I think I figured this out. I think it's because you actually learn how to resolve conflicts. You're getting to know each other. You're not masking love for lust.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people are like, let's get in a fight and fuck?
I've seen.
You're actually working through this.
Well, I've seen dynamics where I'm like, how are we together? Like, this is just an example, right? If we do the rehearsal dinner and the wedding, sometimes different sets of parents are paying for things. And like, there's been multiple dynamics where clearly the bride or the groom was not a fan of the parents of the other person. Yeah. And they're paying for things and they're just like, can you have this conversation with this person? And I'm like, can you have the conversation with the person you're fucking? Like, I mean, honestly, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I mean, of course I'll do it, but it's like, sometimes I'm looking at these people that are literally afraid to talk to each other. And I'm like, how are we here? You know, like, so I see that way more than I don't see it, which is actually a little shocking.
Well, that is crazy because you would think, but I think it's like, you know, you've probably been in relationships. I've been in relationships where like you wanted it to work so bad that sometimes you sacrificed yourself just a little bit. They never end up working out in the thing.
Never.
So if you can't have those hard conversations because you don't want to stir the pot, then you're with like the wrong person. Like I've had men that are friends too that are like, oh, you need to be a little more this, or, you know, men must be very intimidated. How can they handle, you know, because you're such like a little like tomboy. And I'm like, you know, but the thing is, I was like, I don't want to marry a beta fish. Like,
no, it's so
if you can't handle me for who I am, like I'm not gonna change and dumb myself down. Like I want somebody that's for me. And if there isn't a person for me, which I think there's a person for everybody, then I'm okay. Because I love my life and my friends and my family, and life is good. So that's why at that point, that's why I'm kind of a danger now, because I like my life so much that if you're not coming with serious value, it's like, what are we doing here?
Well, that's why marriage rates are declining Like, I mean, people are super content. They're like, unless you're lighting me up. I mean, I said this actually to a man when I was breaking up with him. So savage. I said, I was like, have you ever thought about like us not working out? And he was like, no. And he was like, have you? And I was like, all the time. And he's like, well, like I was being realistic. And he was like, well, how would it be? And I was like, I have only, and it sounds mean, but I promise this is true. I have only leveled up every time I've left a relationship. Like it's only gotten better.
Yeah.
I've only gotten better and better in life. And so I was like, I'll be fine. Like, and he was like, how are you saying this to me? Like his face was like, and I'm like, I don't mean it to be mean. It's very true. Like every single partner I've had has been very much a better version than the last person I dated. Like it's always been a better dynamic. I've been better in the relationship. Yeah. My life is better. It's always been better. And it's because I'm cool. Like I don't care. I'm happy if I'm going to be happy either way.
Yeah. And you learn. Yeah. That's why I say there's no mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, especially with relationships. I don't think you meet people by accident. I had a relationship 10 years ago, and I always said, God, if we had met today, it would have worked. But we were meant to meet 10 years ago because he was a pivotal part of my growth.
Yeah.
My internal growth. And without that, who would have taken that place to help catapult that healing and that growth that needed to be done during that time?
It's a reason, a season, or a lifetime. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the reason. You know?
So have you ever heard, I was with a business coach, and he said to me one of the craziest things, not the craziest things, but he said something to me that really struck. And I said, I've got to do more videos on this, and I've got to remind myself, and I've got to tell every single woman out there. He said, Madison, you need to start living your life like a rom-com. The rom-com you're watching on TV. Does the rom-com character that you're watching, do you like the character who sits back and be like, he probably doesn't like me, I'm not going to take a risk? Or do you want the plot where you take the risk and you find out the answer? Are you going to sit there and just wonder, what if?
Yeah.
Start living your life like a rom-com. Start living. And we've heard the whole thing of, if your life was a screenplay, what would the audience be yelling at you to do? Which is another great one. But I like the single, like, if it's a rom-com, like watching these rom-coms, like, you know, those rom-coms where you're like, she got the guy, or she's doing this, or she's going to take the chance. We don't live that ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people play it very safe. I honestly...
I have with relationships 100%. That's my last little piece that I really, really need to work on.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like everywhere else I'm very level-headed. I'm very... In relationships I am, but I have a hard time when it comes to, you know, I still have a little bit of a fear of getting hurt. So it's hard for me to kind of break down that wall and sometimes be vulnerable. And that's why so many of my guy friends are like, I want to marry you. I love you.
Yeah.
Because they
see a different version.
Right. Yeah. Versus like, oh my gosh, this guy could potentially break my heart. Yeah. And you know, there's guys that have this too. You hear guys talk about it a lot. I think that comedian Theo Von talks about it. And I'm like, God, he's like the male version.
I love him.
He's great. But I swear he's like so the funny. Male version of me. And I was like, I totally relate to that, to where you're like, you have all these friends, everything's great. But it's like, there's a part where you're like, I don't want people to get you know, too close because I don't want to get hurt. I've done that before. Yeah. But then the thing is, when you do get hurt, you survive. And you become better. So what are we so scared of?
Well, you know, I think there's like, this is so like going to seem crazy, but like just stick with me. There's a quote from Seinfeld that always made me laugh because at one point they're like, how's everyone getting together? And Jerry's like, alcohol. And like, honestly... so spot on, because that is why dating and alcohol kind of go hand in hand, unfortunately, because it kind of lets us relax a little bit. Yeah. And like, that's why I've been on, I mean, honestly, I can rock into a date totally sober, but some people really can't because they're like, I'm nervous, I don't want to say the wrong thing, and that stuff really is prevalent. And then sometimes that's how they are in the whole relationship if they're like a little bit more introverted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not telling anyone to become like a drinker or anything.
But they could do those funny mushrooms, right?
Yeah, like do a microdose. No, I mean, but like it's just like we're in our heads. And I did an episode about like why are like millennials actually so afraid of commitment? Because like I'm seeing Gen Z get married, like they're marrying their first boyfriend.
Yeah, well, I'm a millennial. I'm an elder millennial. Are you a millennial?
Same. I'm a millennial. And Gen Z marrying their first boyfriend. They're ready to settle down. Millennials are like,
because Gen Z watched millennials get it completely fucking
completely wrong.
There's so many. I look back at my college and I'm like, I should have married him. I should have married him. And most of my friends actually ended up marrying people from high school or from college. And let me tell you something. It's been a long time since I've been in high school and college.
Yeah.
Long enough. And they're happy. They're
you know what?
Still happy.
You know why they're happy though? I will say this. I'm a completely different person than I was in high school. And if I had been married, I would never have unlocked this version of myself. I would never have been able to travel.
That's what I say too, yeah.
I would never have built a business. My college boyfriend wanted to get married when we were 21. I would have had 3 kids. I would have been fat and disgusting. I would have been miserable. I would have never found my calling. And at some point that will catch up with you. So I actually feel like millennials seem like we're falling through life, like we're getting it wrong, but like we are probably the happiest, like truly, even though we're always dealing and clean up everyone's shit, like we are the happiest.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. But I think it just comes down to like knowing who you are and knowing what you want. And, you know, like I think society put us into so many different, the same boxes, right?
Yeah.
Like you had to do this by a certain time or do this or do this. And then everyone's trying to fit into the same boxes when we're all different people.
Yeah.
And so that's why people are inherently miserable because they're like, well, I don't want to do that, but I got to fit into society's box or I'm going to have no friends because all my friends are like getting married. I still hang out with my married friends. I become friends with their husbands. I'm friends with them and it's great. I'm not like letting them. I mean, are they going away with me as much on weekends? No, but I've picked up the other single friends. You know, there's always friends out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's you know, don't disappear when you're single because one day, or when you're in a relationship, because one day you might need those friends and you'll be a little bit left out. They'll always welcome you back, but they'll be like, you haven't really, you know.
No, that's a pandemic.
Yeah, I think it's like a good balance, but. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be nice to get laid. It would.
Yeah, regularly getting laid is great.
Yeah, I don't do that. I've decided to become celibate.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Why are we punishing ourselves?
Because Jesus might return, and I don't want to be caught with my legs open when he does, and then I don't get to go. You know, if the rapture comes, you're like, no, I'm going. You're like, I'm going to heaven on all fours.
No, I'm ready for the rapture. I'll be like in the trenches of hell, like fighting. You know, like I'm ready. I already know.
Yeah, so you're gonna stay down here. I don't want to stay down here. So I'm like, knowing me, he'll come back when my legs are like spread open.
It's gonna be like that movie, This Is the End. Like I'm gonna be fighting like big devil with a 20-foot dick.
Yeah, that's hilarious. No, but I think it's also like, you know, people underestimate the power of the vajayjay. Like there's a lot of power with it. And I'm not saying you should use it for bad, use it for good. But people just give it up so easily.
They really do. I've actually, oh my God,
I say keep your legs close till you get a house. And what I mean by a house is a foundation of a strong, healthy relationship. That's what the house represents.
Well, so like as much as I call it a hoe phase, like just know and believe, like I'm not out here spreading it around. And I've had conversations with girlfriends that are just perpetually single. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're telling me like, well, I went on this date and he said he was going to marry me and then we had sex in his car. And I'm like, look, all of my serious relationships, I've been over here like, no, I'm good on you. Like, but that's why you have the fuckboy. You know, you keep him over here for if you're wanting to be in a bad mood and be a bad girl. But like, if you really want to be with somebody, like you see a future with them. And I hate to be this person, and I'll probably get canceled for it. But like, we are not. I personally have lost respect for guys when they're like throwing it out on the first or second date. I'm like, cool, you're like a fun time, but like I don't really take you seriously.
Well, yeah, and you're nervous about where their dick's been.
Exactly.
So
like what are you doing and who are you, you know? So yeah, like I think it, unfortunately, because people will argue with me, they'll be like, well, he can just as much dump you on the 10th date as the second date. And it's
I've had guys tell me this. They say don't stress too much about how long you make them wait. And I said, I'm not making them wait. I'm ready.
It's your boundary.
Here's the thing is we biologically cannot help this.
Yeah.
So women, maybe they can fight it and maybe you're one that fights it, but it's still there. We release oxytocin.
Oh, I don't suffer from the affliction.
But I do. I get attached. So the problem is I'm going to get attached to some like degenerate because I'm banging them and I'm like, no. Hold on a second. I need to make sure this is, you know, what I really want. But it's like, you know, you get to that point where you're like, God, I just want to have so much money I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And then I can just like marry like a kindergarten teacher.
Well,
you know what I mean?
that would be fantastic. But also I've met teachers, gone on date with teachers, and sometimes they also like don't have it together up here.
Yeah, no, I really don't want a teacher, but you know what I mean?
No, I mean, honestly though, like it's not about like, oh, I'm going to punish the man. I mean, if he can't last 6 dates, then he's not my man. It's like, I have this internal boundary. I'm not doing shit until I know how I feel about you.
And where you stand.
And I don't share it with you. I'm just like, I'm not going to go to your house on the 3rd date. Let's go do something else, you know, like.
Yeah.
You know, and usually the guys that are actually like relationship material, they're not trying to get you to their house. They're trying to continue.
That's true. They're trying to take you on vacation.
Yeah, they're trying to take you on vacation. They're trying to take you to Michelin-rated dinners. Like, they're trying to do the things to really win you over.
So where are you meeting these guys that are taking you to all these Michelin-rated? I feel like you need to go out with me and be my wing woman.
Oh my God, I excel at being a wing woman. My friends are like,
oh, wonderful. I found my match.
Yeah, because you know what, like, because I go out and it's just like, I'm just this. And people, like, when I made friends with our mutual friend, his friend started talking and I was like, I'm not into you guys. And I made a very inappropriate dick joke, but it was like an off-putting one to make him go away. And he countered with a better joke. And I was like, oh, we can be friends. We'll be friends. Like, we will all be friends. This will be like a friendly dynamic. And it was. But.
And then it wasn't. You're like, and then the plane tickets to Jamaica.
Well, it was only like, it was a 3-monther, you know, it was tied me over.
Well, obviously it went well because.
We're great friends. Yeah.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, you got to meet this great girl. And
he's a great guy.
Now we're here. So obviously didn't end up bad.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. He's a great guy. And, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you kind of just got to. No airs. Like, when I went out that night, I was literally like, I'm ugly and fat and I don't care about men. I just want to catch up with my girlfriend. It was truly like, I was laser focused on her. Yeah. And I just gave no fucks. And I swear to God, that's when you meet people. That's the key,
ladies and gentlemen. It's the not giving fucks.
Truly.
That's where the happiness, that's where the magic happens.
Everybody gets so pissed when you say that too.
Because they know it's true. That's why they get pissed.
It's the people that don't know how to not give a fuck. And that's when I'm like,
just go out like yourself. Grab a pair of sweats or a dumpy little dress and just go out and just have fun. Don't worry about what your hair looks like or your makeup looks like, or just go out and be you.
The problem is there's a lot of people that put like internal pressure on themselves with dating, where they're like,
most people do.
I'm this age and I have to do this thing and all my friends are having kids and this and that. And it gives you like an aneurysm. Like,
well, I think you're younger than me, but I froze my eggs about 7 years ago. 5 years ago. And I believe like God is I'm very faithful and like I'm where I'm supposed to be and I believe that, but there's still sometimes you wake up where you say, did I fuck my life up? Did I put my career too much first and not give anyone a chance? Did I have the fear of getting hurt, ruin potential? Where did I go wrong? And then it's like, no, you have to have faith that, you know, my dad's one of those guys that thinks that we have less control than we do. And other people are like, you know, he believes in a lot of things are predestined.
You never know.
Where it's like you do have free will, you know, obviously right and wrong, but I think there's a lot that you can't control. And sometimes that's the power of surrendering. Yeah. Is just putting it out there and having faith, but just knowing that it'll happen. So when that thought comes in, I go, no, that's the devil talking to me. Like, go away. Yeah. God isn't saying that, but you have to ask him for that guidance of, you know, but it was funny. I saw this ad and, you know, the algorithm's like, she thinks Jesus is coming back. We're feeding her rapture videos. We got everything. I was like, I see this ad for like a church thing. And so I clicked on it and I was like, oh, this is cool. So I get a call and they say, oh, we actually have a Sunday service at 12:30 near Union Square, and it's singles over 35.
Okay.
And I said, well, shit, sign me up after Labor Day. Because nobody's here in the summer.
Here.
But I thought, oh my gosh, this would be so interesting.
That's
so if you want to
interesting.
come with me, you should.
Honestly, I've thought, you know what, like, because my family, or I was technically baptized Greek Orthodox. We're not very religious, but like, I was walking by a church one day in Union Square or like on Irving, and this guy is sitting outside and he's just like, you're Greek. And I was like, what? I'm sorry. Hi, hello. And he was like, you're Greek Orthodox and I don't see you at my church. And I was like, oh. And this was like 100 years ago. And I actually went to like one thing, I sat in the back and I was like, damn, everybody here is kind of hot. So yeah, I mean, like, this is what I'm saying,
people
though.
of the Lord.
You gotta just like surrender. And I don't actually, I mean, I've caught myself having those thoughts where I've been like, did I fuck up? Did I mess everything up? But like, I had a friend say something to me once, because I was like fighting so hard for a relationship back in the day. And she just looked at me and she was like, you know, if you have to fight so hard for it, it's probably not meant for you. Like, anything you have to really fight and claw for, like, it's probably not meant for you.
Yes.
And that is why when you have no fucks, things work out. Because like, honestly, when she said that to me, I took stock of my entire life. It wasn't just dating. Like, anything I've like fought so hard for in business, or like I've fought for clients that like, please book with me, and then they've ended up being people I fucking hated. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
because you weren't in your receiving mode.
No, and like that's only happened to me like twice. But like, I mean, I've just learned like that I just don't push.
I think the power of surrender is really the whole thing. And that's why when you're just detached, you have the faith, you put in the inspired action that's requiring it. But, you know, are you found in Neville Goddard? He's a big like mindset, spiritual kind of law of attraction. So look up his stuff on like TikTok. If you just type in his name, like even on TikTok, and you just, you know, go through, and as you're getting ready, you can hear the TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of things, but there's one that's talking about like when we're so desperate for money or desperate for things or desperate for relationships, opportunities, we're actually repelling it, right? The more you want something, the more you repel it. So it's like, you know, the Lord wants you to be abundant. The universe wants you to be abundant. So you have to be in that receiving phase. So it's like you go out and you put out the best plan you can, or the best proposal, and if it's meant to be, it'll be. But you have to step into the identity. Yeah. So with that being said, like here I have these books and things like that, and things are going well, but I haven't stepped into the identity of a happily confident married woman, because I'm not. Yeah. But it's like how would my identity shift slightly? I wouldn't change as a person, but our identity slightly shifts. How does that person walk knowing that they've got the love of their life? How do they talk? How do they embrace what are they upset about? What are the new problems? Like, it's taking that identity. It's like the thing is like when you want to make more money, right? Like we're scared of, we all want to make more money, but then we're like, how are we going to handle it? What are we going to do? But it's like you have to step
you have to step past it.
Right. So I think it's like if you want to be in a relationship, you have to start stepping into the identity of the person that has the best relationship, the man who worships, or woman, whatever he is. We don't judge.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm like, sometimes I've had these like limiting thoughts where I'm like, oh my God, I want to be married. But then I'm like, do I? Because I have the best adventures when I'm single. Like, I've had the best times of my life.
But you can have the best times if you meet the right
That's
person.
what I've had to remind myself is like, okay, I've had these like, I go out, grab a drink, and then it's just like snowballs into the craziest thing ever. I meet that I party with Peter Dinklage accidentally. Like, you know, you just like accidentally do these things, and it's just like you've lived. And like, that is why I'm like, if I was married when I was 20, I literally would not have lived. So it's like sometimes I'm having to remind myself, you can do that with the right person.
Okay. No, it is so true. But I think it's really, as we wrap up, it's like the magic of detachment, living your life as a rom-com, and just being you can't get more if you're not grateful for what you already have.
Exactly.
And you seem like a very, like you're grateful for your business, for your podcast. We didn't really get to talk about that, but we before we wrap up, tell us about the podcast, where people can find you, all that good stuff. And I'm going to be on her podcast, and we're going to talk about something probably maybe not dicks. Maybe we'll talk about dicks. Who knows what we'll talk about?
I love talking.
Who knows what we'll talk about?
We'll talk about the rapture. You can find me at Misjudged Podcast with 2 S's. It is a pod that is it's just about nothing. The only topic off the table on our pod is politics, just because I feel like it's a little exhausting sometimes.
Yep.
But I just wanted to make it like, it really is a lot of millennials and like even Gen X and like men and women. It's for the men and the women. Because I wanted a pod that was teaching women how to really be in their feminine, but also like stand in their power.
Yeah.
And the men are so fucking lost because they're listening to other men instead of a woman who just tells it like it is. Like,
amen, sister.
Right? They need help.
I like that. I like that. So you guys, yes, definitely go check out Misjudged Podcast. But you also have a personal page, so drop your personal page as well.
You can follow me at _Alyssa P with a Y.
Okay.
And if you need a wedding planner, you could just hit up Allen Auto Events. Tell your friends, tell your fam. 5-star reviews only everywhere, by the way. No haters.
Yeah, exactly, right? So manifest that man and then plan, or woman, and plan your luxury wedding with Alyssa. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming by. We're back in a studio. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And thank you to everybody who is watching, listening. Please don't forget to rate, subscribe, share it with a friend. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please tell everybody about it. And hopefully you learned something that will make you happier, healthier, or wealthier, because that's our mission on Next to Madison. We'll see you next time to find out who's next. Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms, and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@nexttomadison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.